The battle of the big three has officially started, guys. J. Cole has fired back a response diss track to Kendrick Lamar on his new surprise project entitled Might Delete Later. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you should already have heard Kendrick taking shots at both Drake and J. Cole on the banger Like That from Future and Metro Boomin's album We Don't Trust You, which in itself is a whole album pretty much going at Drake. In my opinion, the Kendrick verse on Like That is mostly aimed at Drake, with a little sub to Cole when Kendrick says, F the big three, it's just big me. Which to me just means he's saying we're not all on the same level, we're not on the same level, it's him then everyone else. But I guess J. Cole took more offense and more of a challenge from the record. To be honest, I was expecting Drake to reply first. He's kind of getting Meek Milled in this situation, in the sense of Like That being a massive record, playing in the clubs, playing everywhere, everyone's talking about it, and Drake still hasn't responded. It's been 2 weeks already, no response from Drake. Where you at, Drake? I understand you're on tour, but come on, bro. Kendrick's at your neck right now, let's go. But here we are 2 weeks later, J. Cole out of nowhere drops a 12-track project, Might Delete Later, with the last song on the tape, 7 Minute Drill, going at Kendrick. Now I think 7 Minute Drill is something J. Cole's business partner and manager Ebe spoke about, which is like these little writing practices J. Cole would do. He would give himself 7 minutes. He has to write something down no matter what, if it's good or bad. It's just a way of training himself and getting his pen game stronger. This track being titled 7 Minute Drill says two things to me then, if that's the case. It says, one, this is something Cole cooked up without a lot of thought. You know what I mean? It's something that he put together really quick, 7 Minute Drill, right? And two, he probably has something else in the tuck that he's cooked up or is cooking up in case of another response from Kendrick. So the whole record, he takes shots at Kendrick, but to me, the part that really stood out was him taking aim at Kendrick Lamar's discography. Now this part is really interesting to me. He says, your first shit was classic. Wait, hold on. He says, you still doing shows, but fell off like The Simpsons. Not the best line, but it's okay. We'll give him a pass on that one. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put us to sleep, but they gassed it. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. I was trailing right behind, and I just now hit mine. This record overall was just okay to me. You know what I mean? The way Cole has been rapping the last couple of years, I'm not gonna lie, he was the one I expected, like, something crazy back. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that this is called 7 Minute Drill and it's not 7 minutes long, like, when I first saw the title, I'm like, okay, Cole is going in on Kendrick for 7 minutes. This is about to be a real battle, for real. Track's only 3 minutes long. You know what I mean? The first beat, I didn't really like it. I didn't like Cole's energy on it. You know what I mean? Second beat, you know, Conductor Williams on the second beat, slowed it down, and I feel like Cole started getting his bag a little bit in the second part of the track. But I still felt like overall it was just a little mid. You know, it didn't have that same energy we've been hearing from Cole the last 2 years, just killing every feature, killing everything. You know, this felt more like just a light jab. It almost feels kind of like a missed opportunity for Cole to prove that he's not the middle child of this big three of Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. You know what I mean? Coming out as the first one to respond on a surprise project, he really could have, like, you know, hit this one out the park. But it was kind of Now that being said, let's go over the line about Kendrick's discography, because that part was interesting to me. Because to me, you know, the whole track, he says random shit, but it's mostly just like bars, you know, just nothing really personal. But to go at his discography is very interesting, especially when you're going at someone who a lot of people say has one of the best discographies in hip hop, right? So let's go over this. He says, the first shit was classic, right? First shit was classic. That's Good Kid, Mad City. There's no debate there. That's universally one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Even Cole himself admits that, right? Then he says, your last shit was tragic. He's talking about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Personally, I strongly disagree with that. I really like that album. I appreciate Kendrick for going into something like that. You know what I mean? Something very personal and heartfelt. But I do understand it's not Kendrick's most universally loved album. So It's kind of low-hanging fruit to take a shot at that, whatever. Then he says, and this is the one that was funny to me. Like, this actually made me laugh. He says, your second shit put us to sleep. He said, your second shit put us to sleep. And he's talking about To Pimp a Butterfly. Bro, To Pimp a Butterfly is one of the greatest albums of all time. Like, what are we talking about right now? That album is incredible. That's one. Two, I don't want to hear J. Cole talking about music that puts us to sleep, right? The whole running joke on the internet about J. Cole's career used to be that his music puts people to sleep. So it's ironic for him to come out and say that about Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly album, which is like highly regarded. And what's even funnier to me is like, I always felt like For Your Eyes Only, J. Cole's album, was like his attempt at making, a jazz-infused, soulful, experimental album like To Pimp a Butterfly. So it's just ironic to me that he's taking a shot at that album. You know what I mean? That part made me laugh. And again, that's not true. That album was hard. Then he says, your third shit was massive, and that was your prime, and I just hit mine. Okay. I agree with this part here. I do think Damn is the prime and the height of Kendrick's powers as an MC. Damn, although I think Good Kid, Mad City is probably a better album, Damn is like his quote unquote best, because I think it has the perfect balance of artistry and commercial appeal as well, right? I think he hit it on the head with that. So, which makes sense. But the part that's interesting about that is he's saying, Cole is basically trying to say he's just hitting his prime and Kendrick is falling off. That's what I'm getting from this verse, right? I rate J. Cole and I respect him for responding, right? I do think majority of the that verse was about Drake, but the part about F the Big Three, it's just Big Me. I could see how Cole would be like, you know what, fuck that. I'm responding. I'm tired of these people acting like I'm not the shit. Like, I've been killing shit. Where you been? I respect it. But one thing we can't forget, yo. We can't forget who Kendrick Lamar is. We cannot forget who Kendrick Lamar is, man. I know he's been chilling. I know he's been working with Baby Keem. And I know the last album, a lot of you guys didn't like it. But if you think right before, maybe a year prior to Mr. Morale, did you guys not hear Kendrick's verse on Family Ties? Come on, bro. That verse right there, that was him poking the bear a little bit. If you really go back and listen to that one, he was saying, don't address me unless it's with 4 letters. What's 4 letters? I'm assuming that he means the king. And he killed that shit. That was him showing I could still get busy on these type of tracks if I need to, right? And then you go to Mr. Morale, The Heart Part 5. Sorry, nobody in rap, at least out of these big 3, has written something as potent as The Heart Part 5 in the last 5 years. So let's not pretend that Kendrick doesn't still have bars. Whether you like the album or not, let's not pretend he doesn't still have bars. And what I'll say again is, this is a missed opportunity for Cole. Kendrick came out of nowhere with a nuke on like that, right? Wasn't like the craziest diss verse, but he was very meticulous in what he was saying and where he placed it. He placed it on a hit record, a massive hit record. Right? And the things he said were impactful. This Cole response, aside from the part about the discography, nothing really stood out to me, right? And it just kind of feels like a light jab. And I don't think Kendrick is the one to play with in that sense. You know what I mean? I don't think Kendrick's not going to come back with a light jab. I don't think. Remember, Kendrick's the one that dropped Control back in the day when all these guys were friends. And he shot at all his friends saying, yo, I'm trying to kill all of you. I don't care if we're friends. I'm trying to kill everybody. That's his mentality. You can't come at someone with that mentality with a light jab. You just can't. That's not smart. That's not tactical. I do think now, in terms of Cole and Kendrick has the upper hand now, because majority of the thoughts online right now and amongst the community is that J. Cole's wasn't that good, right? We're about to see. But maybe their friendship, maybe that'll allow Kendrick to, give him a little pass and not go as hard. I really think what this battle really was supposed to be about was Kendrick and Drake, who have been subbing each other for the last decade or so. That was the battle I really wanted to see. Cole, I just feel like caught some strays just because he's been super tight knit with Drake lately, and I don't think Kendrick took a liking to that first person shooter track. But all in all, what I'm really, we'll see what Kendrick does next. Now the ball's in his court, but what I really want to know is how is Drake gonna respond? Because Drake is the one that Kendrick was really attacking. And that's the one we're all waiting for. Drake is finishing up his tour now. There's no excuses. Drake is the one that's battle tested. But again, Drake is the one that came at Meek Mill saying, yo, I gave y'all 2 days. Where y'all at? He put pressure on the timeline, right? And it's been 2 weeks. No Drake response yet to this Kendrick diss. So that's going to be interesting. Drake has his hands full. Kendrick alone is a monster, but he also has to beef with Future and Metro, who literally put an album, We Don't Trust You, going at Drake. And they have another album coming out. So Drake has his hands full. I really want to see how he responds. New videos coming soon, y'all. Hit that like and subscribe button. And thank you for tuning in. Peace.